Hey lovelies, it's Ebony and I'm back with another video for you. First new video of 2020. So happy new year to all, happy new decade, happy new everything. I hope that your year is going well so far. I know it's only January 3rd, but it's never too late, or wait, it's never too early to start having a good year. Now, I wanted to shoot this video because I've been getting this question a lot. Ebony, what can I do to moisturize my hair this winter? What do you do to moisturize your hair during the winter months? So I'm excited to have finally gotten my tips together. I did some research as well, and I've condensed everything down to just 5 simple tips to keep your hair moisturized this winter so that you can get that length. When the warm months are out, you can show out, you can show off, whatever you want to do. So let's jump right into this video and my 5 tips for keeping your hair moisturized this winter. The first tip is to consider shampooing your hair a little less often and consider co-washing a little more often. I know a lot of us curly girls pack on the product for the perfect curl pattern, curled spiral, whatever. So when it's time to wash our hair, we want to just strip everything off, start fresh, so that the products that we put in our hair will act right. We don't get that weird hair memory thing, or wait, hair amnesia thing that our hair sometimes get, where it's like, okay, I used this product before, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working now? But in the winter months, you want to keep as much of that natural oil from your scalp and your hair so that you can retain that length. And you know, with the cold temperatures outside and the dry heat inside, your hair can use all the help it can get. Now, I know a lot of people are against co-washing because for some people it doesn't get their hair clean enough, or they feel like it just packs on more buildup to their strands, and that can be true in a lot of different cases. I mean, I have low porosity hair, so I struggle with product buildup, but there are other ways to get that product buildup off of your hair without shampooing, and only one I can think of right now, because it's the most popular and it works for me, is the apple cider vinegar rinse. It won't strip my hair. I still feel like my hair is nice and smooth and like buttery a little bit, and it's detangled. And on top of all of that, I've gotten the product buildup off of my hair. So consider doing things like that in between washes, co-washing, using a really good co-wash product. So for example, if you shampoo your hair once a week, so maybe like 4 times a month, right? Try co-washing your hair every other time, or even half the time, and see how your hair reacts. This may be a trial and error situation for a lot of you, but I feel like it would be worth it in the end, so that you can really truly tell what your hair responds to, what it does and doesn't like when it comes to shampooing versus co-washing your hair. Tip number 2, deep condition your hair on a very consistent basis. Deep conditioning is so important to your hair, not just in the winter months, but all year round. There's so many people who don't deep condition, or they don't think it's that necessary. It truly is, because this is where your hair gets all its superpower, honestly. Your hair gets the nutrients it needs, it gets the moisture that it needs, it gets the vitamins, everything that it needs in that one session to help retain the length that it fought so hard to get to. In deep condition sessions, I can't say this. Deep condition sessions is when your hair gets all the superpowers. It needs its vitamins, its minerals, its moisture, its hydration, everything that it needs to retain that length that it fought so hard to get to. So you don't want to take that away from your hair. How can it sustain itself if it's never really quite getting that attention and care that it needs to do what you want it to do? So make sure that you're deep conditioning on a regular basis. Now, beware of protein deep conditioners. They're not bad, but used in excess, it can cause your hair to be weak and brittle. If you aren't familiar with what protein deep conditioners do, they literally take, like for example, think of one hair strand that might have a dip here, divot there, is damaged here. That protein will come in and fill in all those gaps and take care of all those weaknesses, those weakened areas, and help strengthen those bonds it needs, that hair strand needs to continue to retain its length, to grow to the length that you want it to grow. But if you are protein deep conditioning your hair every single time you deep condition, that might be too much for your hair, because it's protein on protein on protein, which is just too much of a weight for your hair to bear, which can lead to brittleness, weakness, dryness, all the things that you are literally fighting against. So protein deep conditioners, on average, people probably use maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months, maybe even once every 3 months. Everyone's hair is different. Not everyone's hair is as damaged as the next person. So make sure you're paying attention to the deep conditioners you're buying, the labels, the ingredients. I love my All Organics. It's no secret. I love their Babassu Mint deep conditioner, but it's actually a protein / moisture deep conditioner. It says it right there on the bottom. I don't think this is a super strong protein deep conditioner because I've used it on a regular basis and I haven't felt like my hair has been like negatively affected by it. But because it has protein in it, you still have to use it not sparingly, but sparingly. Be mindful and watch what's happening with your hair when you're using it, if you're using it more than once a month. And if you look at the ingredients list, you can tell it's a protein deep conditioner just by what's in it. Now, I wasn't an A student in chemistry, but I do remember that a lot of proteins end in INE, like lysine, arginine. I can't think of anything else right now, but on the ingredients list, they have listed threonine, alanine. Those are protein components. But these stick out to me immediately as proteins because of that INE. Now, you don't have to be a scientist to pick out your hair products, but things like that definitely help. Now, moisturizing deep conditioners you can use pretty much as often as you need to. Mask, M-A-S-K or M-A-S-Q-U-E, those are moisturized based deep conditioners. They probably have little to no proteins in them, but again, make sure you're reading those labels and those ingredients to make sure that what you're believing to be true is. And but you can tell a lot of times they promise hydration and moisture and things like that. But the bottom line is just make sure you are deep conditioning on a regular basis. Please do not leave that out. That's something that's very necessary for your hair to remain healthy and to keep that length retained and to not be all dry and brittle during the winter months. Tip number 3, seal your ends regularly. This was something that I practiced on a religious basis back when I was growing out my semi-big chop. It was barely touching my shoulders, and I knew that, you know, with it rubbing against my shoulders and my clothes, that could create dryness and lead to breakage. So I was like, okay, what can I do to make sure that I minimize that as much as possible? So what I would do is, you know, style my hair as I normally would, which was like 2 little flat twists, and I would literally take raw shea butter. You can find this at your local beauty supply store. You can buy it off Amazon. It's literally that big yellow jar. It's yellow, and like you'll know it when you see it. It's the raw African shea butter, and I would take that, rub it in my hands, and make sure it was all nice and smooth and easy to manipulate, and then just seal my hair, and my ends especially, with the raw shea butter. I would put in my leave-in, whatever oil I felt like my hair could absorb, and then top it off with that raw shea butter, because butters seal your hair. Your hair doesn't absorb it, so it's like a coat for your hair, or a little satin cap to keep your hair protected from your edges, from your shoulders all day, so that your hair can retain the length and not break. So make sure you're doing that. Other options for sealing your ends is, I wanted to make sure I didn't forget, is the shea butter, which to me that's my number one. I love that because it doesn't absorb. I can literally like feel it, just it's thick, but I like thick because I wanted my hair to be coated and protected. But if you don't like that, try sweet almond oil, olive oil, jojoba oil. And there's just a plethora of oils you can use. Whatever you feel works best for your hair as a sealant, use that. But you know, I suggest the raw shea butter. Tip number 4, keep your hair off your shoulders, back, chairs, whatever, as much as possible. Now, I know I'm a big hypocrite right now because I'm literally wearing a sweater and my hair is down, but it's in a ponytail. I like to do this because it's not all over my head and I have some control. So let's say, for example, like I'm going to a birthday party for my little cousin later tonight and I'm wearing this ponytail, but if I feel my hair is getting too tangled or drying out, I can easily pin this up in a little bun in the back and be good till I get home, and I won't really have changed my look so much. So that's just an alternative where it's not, my hair isn't completely away, but it's better than just wearing it out in a wash and go. Now that's not the best example, but it's just, I feel like people will need options as far as wearing their hair, because it's like, who wants to always be wearing a bun constantly or wearing like Felicia braids all the time, which is nothing wrong with that, but you want variety. I wear Felicia braids all the time. We'll pull it back in a ponytail. That's literally what I had. That's why I have a braid out right now. But I say all that to say the point is to keep your hair as tame as possible so that you don't have to deal with a lot of tangles. Now, as far as styles, that's where you can get creative. You can do the bun because that's the easiest thing to do, or the Felicia braids, but you know, get creative with it. Try and make sure you are styling your hair in a way that the ends don't necessarily have to constantly be rubbing against your shoulders or the seat in your car or at work or wherever. Put a satin scarf on your seat in the car or on your chair at work. Like, get, you know, creative with it to figure out different ways to keep your hair from making that friction all day. Oh, and please don't wear those wool hats without a satin cap underneath. Like, I literally had this cute little yellow wool hat, and I don't know why I thought I could just wear it. Like, oh, I'm only wearing it on the train to work, it doesn't matter. Man, my hair broke off so bad right up in the front, and after that I put a little satin cap on my head first and then put the hat on. I know it feels crazy, but in the long run it's gonna make such a big difference in how your hair feels and how healthy it is and how it grows. Tip number 5, please cut back on the heat styles. I know the winter months is when everyone wants to get the nice blowout flat iron, but this is like the worst time to do it because you've already drawn out so much moisture from your hair to get the straightened look, and then you're going out into like really cold temperatures, the heat inside your house, in your car, wherever, drawing even more moisture out of your hair. And who wants to constantly be slicking their hair down with oil when it's straight? Because we want that flowy, you know, blowing the wind straightened hair when we straighten our hair. Like, nobody wants that oil slick stringy look. So I mean, I'm not saying don't do it, but just try to cut back. Don't make a habit out of, oh, for the winter I wear my hair straight. That's too much heat. You've got to give your hair the opportunity to keep that moisture locked in so it can retain that length. Otherwise, you're going to be wondering, why is my hair so dry? Why is it breaking off? I'm not doing anything to it. You're straightening it, which means you're drawing that moisture out of the cuticle, making it weaker. Bonus tip, and I know everyone's gonna love me for this because who doesn't love taking vitamins and drinking water, right? It's so exciting. Now, this is just something that I have to say because it matters. It truly matters. You don't want to walk around not drinking water, only drinking soda and juices, not taking vitamins, eating junk all the time, and think that your body is going to grow crazy long hair, have beautiful skin. Like, no, we have to take care of ourselves from the inside, so on the outside we can get what we want. Make sure you're taking multivitamins. If you're into the hair vitamins, take those. I'm not, I don't take hair vitamins because I just don't really need them. I don't want to take them, and I don't think there's anything wrong with taking them, but I definitely think that when people take them, they should have a plan in place. They should not just be taking hair vitamins and not changing their behavior anywhere else. You have to make a conscious decision, say, okay, I'm gonna take these hair vitamins, but I'm also gonna drink a lot of water. I'm also going to change my diet, eat more healthy, eat more vegetables, whatever. Don't just rely on the vitamin itself to grow your hair for you. That's my bonus tip. I know it's like the eat your broccoli part of the video, but it has to be said because even myself, I continue to forget that. I don't take a multivitamin every day. I should be, but I don't, and I just haven't gotten around to doing it like everyone else, okay? So don't feel bad. All right, you guys, it's gonna be the end of this video, but before I go, please share in the description box your favorite winter moisturizing tips. What is something that you do that never fails when keeping your hair moisturized throughout the winter months? In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up, share this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and as always, thanks for watching.